Hello everyone. Today we are looking at SQL versus document databases. We will start with a simple question: how do they shape your data? Imagine you have a resume with your name and your past jobs. SQL acts like a strict office. It shreds your resume into pieces. It puts your name in one filing cabinet and your jobs in a completely different cabinet. To read your resume, the computer has to run around and gather the pieces. This is hard work. Document databases use a format called JSON. Think of JSON like a simple manila folder. You put your name and your jobs into one single folder. When you want your resume, you just grab the folder. For simple data, this makes your code much easier to write. But there is a trap. What if your data is highly connected? Like a social network where thousands of users connect to thousands of posts? Document databases are terrible at connecting folders together. If you use them for this, your computer code has to do all the linking manually. It gets very messy and very slow. If your data is highly connected, SQL is almost always the better choice. Now, let us move to board number 2. We need to talk about rules. In databases, we call the rules a schema. SQL is like a strict bouncer at a nightclub door. It explicitly checks all your data before letting it in. If you try to save a word instead of a number, the database rejects it instantly. This keeps your data incredibly safe. People say JSON is schemaless, meaning no rules. That is a myth. JSON is like a nightclub with no bouncer at the door. Anyone can enter. But later, when you order a drink, the bartender still has to check your ID. This means your application code has to do the hard work of checking the data later when it reads it. If you decide to change your data format, SQL just updates the rules for the whole table cleanly. With JSON, you just start writing the new format. But forever, your code must contain messy if statements to handle both the old and new data. Finally, let us look at speed. In database engineering, we call this data locality. A JSON document is stored as one continuous string on the physical hard drive. Think of it like buying a pre-packed lunchbox. You grab the whole box at once. It is incredibly fast. You do not have to hunt around the kitchen for ingredients. But this speed advantage is actually a hidden trap. Because it is one solid box. What happens if the user just changes their phone number? The database cannot just open the box and edit one number. It often has to pick up the entire massive box, rewrite the whole thing in memory, and put it back. This wastes a huge amount of performance. Because of this, you should always keep your documents fairly small. Choosing a database is all about understanding these simple trade-offs. I will see you in the next session.